What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well, and in today's video we're going to dive into XRP, highlighting the Q1 2024 XRP markets report and go through anything that stood out. We have a few other big things going on, including the launch of PAC, the Hashpack token for Hedera's native wallet. This will be taking place on Wednesday. We also had Peak Network, a DPIN Layer 1, secure $20 million, the largest coin list in 2+ years. And right here, Peak has also been selected for MasterCard's award-winning Start Path program to explore synergies and opportunities between the DPIN sector and the world of traditional finance and fintech. Alright, let's dive into XRP. We're going to kick things off looking at the XRP price chart in the monthly time frame, then we're going to dive into some recent developments. So looking at XRP, 50 cents, nothing really to say. What's new? We can see the monthly RSI is just below the 50 line. During previous cycles, in 2017 in the super cycle, we got that strong cross for momentum. Same thing with 2020, early 2021, we got this retracement. We did not create a new all-time price. Perhaps due to a variety of things like the lawsuit, exchange delistings, etc., but we don't know. In both times when we saw XRP experience a rally, this is timed with Bitcoin doing major moves in all-time highs. So absolutely anything can happen, but just based off of the past, I'm assuming that we need to see Bitcoin draw major moves in all-time highs for a variety of assets. So XRP's cycle low, at least for this past cycle, was around 29 cents. We're still holding above that level. There are some assets that might be a little higher, retraced higher, but there are plenty that are still at cycle lows. So I know for many holders that 50 cents might seem really depressing and frustrating, but in the scheme of things, it's actually holding up fairly well relative to other assets. And my bias remains the same until we actually break structure, comparing Bitcoin to the previous cycle when we got this retracement in 2019 and crashed back down during 2020 and got this steady creek up into all-time highs, reaching golden extensions. So this is something I'm considering. You can take this with a giant grain of salt, but I'm just watching because it looks similar in structure. XRP retraced, it bottomed out during its cycle low with multiple points of contact at the 0.059, so it looks like it's in a similar creaking position to Bitcoin. The one thing we're missing is for Bitcoin to draw major moves in all-time highs. And the big difference here is that Bitcoin on the right-hand side, this is the weekly time frame. XRP is on the monthly, so this is drawing substantially longer. We're also at different retracement levels for XRP compared to Bitcoin here during this creek up, so anything's possible. I am leaning towards, of course, a big move to the upside, and we're actually around here. Maybe if you're a bear, you're entertaining that this is just a big fake out. I can't really say much until we do a big move in either direction, either going up and following a similar fractal to Bitcoin, or actually just breaking structure. And also just looking at the XRP Bitcoin chart right here on the left-hand side versus Cardano Bitcoin on the right. So ADA was a top performer last cycle. We even know, per its Bitcoin chart, from its cycle low up to the 702 perfectly, about 1,500%. And XRP still sitting near cycle lows. We just don't know if this is the bottom, but from current price up to the 702, we can see about 2,000%. So if you think crypto's a scam, that is completely fine. Remember, this isn't financial advice and this is just my opinion, but looking at the total crypto market cap, looking at last cycle from the high to the low, we did reach a 4.236 Fibonacci extension right up here. We can also see the importance of holding above the 21-week EMA, so multiple points of contact during past cycles. Sometimes we wicked below, but for the most part, maintaining the trend above this level. So we saw the same thing also last cycle, not really points of contact because this went straight up. Interest rates were near zero, QE was a lot more popular. We can see here, thus far, we have wicked down to the 21-week EMA. So this is a huge reason why I want exposure in the crypto asset class. We know that Ripple and Medico are saying that the crypto asset class, or the institutional crypto custody market, will reach $10 trillion by 2030. We can even draw another fib from the all-time high of $3 trillion to the cycle low and look at any fib extensions. So my personal belief is that the crypto asset class becomes a major asset class per the tokenization stats, per different regs that are in place. The question is when. And the crypto asset class is super volatile. You can't fall in love with the idea of getting a 5, 10, or 20x return because that money can also just fade away entirely. And just like in 2022, crypto crashed. There were a variety of black swans timed with this, and crypto is a complete scam. During a bull run though, it's the best thing ever. So I'm in this asset class because it's cyclical. These markets move in cycles. The volume and liquidity returns, and so does euphoria. And if I didn't have conviction in this asset class, I wouldn't be here. I would never last. I saw a really good quote the other day saying that most people just want to be in the results and not in the process. And it's in the process where you realize who deserves to be in the result. And that's so damn true. And I also saw a quote by Alex Hormozi discussing opportunity and just great opportunity in hindsight. At the time, great opportunity is perceived as risk. And I believe the crypto asset class is one of the greatest tech shifts in our lifetime, and I'm swinging the bat. The biggest risk for me is not taking any risk. Every move I make and every dollar that I invest, I'm okay with the risk, and that's just what I have to do. Sometimes I'll make really good plays, sometimes I'll make terrible plays, and other times I'll make boring plays, and that's part of investing. So right now we're more than halfway through May. Are we going to reach Brad Garlinghouse's prediction for 2024 to reach a $5 trillion crypto market cap, essentially the size of the cloud market? So we have about 200 plus days. So that's a really bold prediction by Brad Garlinghouse because we've never seen him give a price prediction with a time span before. So does he know something we don't? Is he just bullish? Is he going to be right or is he going to be wrong? So we know when markets move up, euphoria is there, everybody's happy, but as the CEO of a major company to make this call with potentially millions of frustrated holders, if you're wrong, oh boy. And there are millions of different types of retail investors. Some are really patient, they have their risk appetite and their time horizon in check, and they're just following the developments. Of course they want prices to go up, but they're pretty patient. But I also know how I felt in 2017 followed by 2018 in the bear market and prices were crashing. I was impatient, I'm just working, I'm looking at my phone and checking prices 30 times a day. And we're almost halfway through 2024, so I know what patience takes, but I also know what impatience feels like on a daily basis. Okay, enough ranting. I ranted so much that I just finished my cup of coffee. Let's dive into the Q1 2024 XRP Markets Report. So we're going to dive through the most important bullet points. So what we need to know for the Bitcoin ETFs, the spot ETFs registered total net inflows of nearly $12 billion. And this took place in just about 3 months, growing significantly faster than gold spot ETF. And what's important to remember about spot ETFs is this is a positive for the crypto asset class to plug into traditional finance. And the same thing applies to the future of Ethereum spot ETFs, Solana, XRP spot ETFs, etc. Now we know Hong Kong was a first mover for an Ethereum spot ETF. We're hoping to see Dubai, Singapore, and other jurisdictions follow behind. But we've already gone over some of the biggest issuers like VanEck and BlackRock in the United States to approve an Ethereum spot ETF ranging between May and August. And I personally believe an Ethereum spot ETF is just a matter of time. Are we going to get different delays? Are we going to get different regulatory scares? We don't know, but I believe that Ethereum's coming, and I believe that other assets for a spot ETF is just a matter of time. We've shared before on 21 shares, XRP has exchange traded products. So this fund of XRP in cold storage, the actual digital asset, has over $52 million AUM. And I know we've heard Brad Garlinghouse's thoughts on an XRP spot ETF, which I believe happens, but this is still dependent on the lawsuit that is ongoing. Alright, going through spot volumes and different things, I also just consider that Bitcoin was in a strong uptrend in Q1, so a lot of different reports that I've read for other networks were relatively positive. We know the news with Coinbase. With Base, its layer 2 plans to bring users fully on-chain via its wallet application, so you can read more about that right there. Along with Ethereum's upgrade, reducing gas cost for layer 2s. And most important right here, the SEC lawsuit against Ripple. So on March 22nd, the SEC submitted to the court their request for remedies against Ripple for its historic institutional sales of XRP. The SEC has asked the court for $2 billion, which comprises of $900 million in disgorgement and approximately $200 million in prejudgment interest on the disgorgement request, and $900 million in penalties. The SEC is crazy. They are going after anything that can write them the biggest check. And I've done videos reading the direct commentary from Stuart Alderati, the chief legal officer of Ripple, along with Brad Garlinghouse on this, and it's just crazy. It really seems like the SEC never wants XRP to experience a bull run. Anyways, Ripple filed its opposition to the SEC's request on April 22nd, pushing back on the SEC's baseless request, arguing that the law does not allow for disgorgement. Ripple argued that a penalty of no more than $10 million would be appropriate in a case that involves no allegations of fraud or recklessness. In terms of the next steps, both parties will wait for the judge to make a determination on the final remedies, likely in the coming months. I mean, heck, a long enough lawsuit, that's a great strategy by the SEC. Eventually, more and more retail investors are going to get frustrated and leave XRP. So XRP is not my only bag, but I'm not selling my XRP. And this is hands down one of the biggest lawsuits in crypto. It's just crazy that the SEC is trying to get $2 billion. Now, for somebody new watching this, you might be like, oh, well, what's the big deal? If you understood how deep it went with Jay Clayton before he left office, deliberately putting this lawsuit on the next chairman's desk, it was just crazy. ETHgate and corruption are a very real thing. I hold Ethereum. I want Ethereum to do well because I hold other alts, but there is so much corruption. So anyways, this entire lawsuit goes really deep. I don't have all the answers. I know there are hundreds, if not thousands, of amazing researchers that have found really interesting things. And this is also really important. There are also other things going on with Tether. I'm not trying to spread FUD. We'll cover that in future videos, but related to global regulatory developments. So stablecoin regulation was front and center as European Union regulators published their draft regulatory standards under Europe's markets and crypto asset regulation, and call it MiCA or MiCA for stablecoin issuers. MiCA paves the way for global stablecoin regulation adoption and will push the market to adopt increasingly stringent and more transparent compliance measures. In addition, Hong Kong introduced a regulatory sandbox for stablecoin issuers this year, and the BIS, the central bank of all central banks, issued regulatory recommendations for global stablecoin arrangements. So everything that the company Ripple does is very strategic. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They acquired Medico for $250 million, really positioning themselves for compliance and custody. And the Ripple US dollar stablecoin that will be running on top of the XRP ledger may play a big role in this, maybe beyond institutional DeFi, but also ODL. Or I guess I should just call that Ripple Payments. And on the regulatory front, we have groups like VARA, the regulatory authority in Dubai, granting a VASP license for virtual asset service providers. We have essentially the Central Bank of Singapore right here with their in-principle approval for its payment license to OKX, and South Africa's financial regulator announced over 300 crypto asset providers sought approval for a license in the country. And speaking of Dubai, I always refer back to this piece of news with the DIFC, the Dubai Financial Center. Licensed firms can now incorporate XRP, the digital asset, into their virtual asset services. Meanwhile, the SEC now is investigating Ethereum and issuing subpoenas to US firms over their interactions with the Ethereum Foundation. And Consensus sued the SEC over its power grab over Ethereum, citing regulatory overreach, exactly what Ripple's been citing forever. The SEC reportedly also sent Wells notices to Uniswap, one of the largest DEXs in the world, basically the start of DeFi, along with the exchange Robinhood, which I've never been a fan of. And right here, the SEC's allegations that Coinbase was acting as an unregistered exchange for certain tokens that may be securities. The court suggested that Coinbase's staking services may constitute as unregistered security transactions. I think the SEC just needs new regulation to understand what staking is. Coinbase's wallet acts as an unregistered securities exchange alone failed, leading to its dismissal. And a couple other things before we dive into the XRP markets, we can see the DOJ charged KuCoin and its founders with violating AML laws, while in parallel, the CFTC charged KuCoin for operating an illegal digital asset derivatives exchange. We have FTX founder and former CEO SBF, who had private meetings with Gensler, was sentenced to 25 years in prison. We have Binance founder CZ was sentenced to 4 months after pleading guilty to money laundering violations. Alright, let's run through some XRP information. Apologies if that was boring, but I do think all of that's relevant. And you can find this entire report on Ripple.com under Insights, looking at their most recent blog. So just running through some of these things, we can see right here, XRP spot volume, Binance continued to account for a significant portion of the volume for XRP. Other exchanges varied. We did have Coinbase, Bitstamp, and Upbit also combined for a significant percentage of the volume. XRP volume distribution across exchanges remained fairly constant. And the majority of XRP trading activity is currently against USDT Tether rather than through fiat pairs. So that's a good reason why we don't want Tether to fade away. In terms of developments, we had XLS30 go live, the automated market maker, as a native feature to the XRP Ledger's DEX. Shortly after it went live, members of the community discovered a bug affecting the AMM functionality, which prompted action from the community developers and the RippleX team to address the issue. Following thorough testing, the bug fix was released and successfully integrated into the mainnet as of April 11th. In terms of integrations, we had Axelar announce its integration to the XRP Ledger, driving interoperability and expanding XRPL's features to 55 plus blockchains, enabling developers to execute calls on smart contracts, facilitating the cross-chain deployment of decentralized applications on the XRPL. Well, so this group, this is ZoniqueX or Zoniques, announced its plan to streamline the tokenization process for real-world assets. We also had Orchestra Finance go live on top of the mainnet, and this is another AMM DEX right here. We had EZA launch educational modules and initiatives to onboard its community of over 750,000 developers onto the XRPL and its Ethereum virtual machine compatible sidechain. So bring on the devs. Looking at the XRP Ledger on Santiment in terms of 30-day dev activity, I would like to see this number go up a lot, and I know this is based off of the public GitHub repository that they're sourcing. We had on-chain transactions increase by 108%, and average cost per transaction decreased by 45%. And in future reports, the automated market maker volume will be included in the volume on the DEX. So if we want to compare Q4 of 2023 to Q1 and look at the number of transactions, we can see the amount of XRP that was burned. We can see the average transaction cost. We can see DEX volume, a slight increase, so I'm excited to see in future reports when the AMM volume is actually reported. We have trust lines kind of close to the same, and the number of new wallets. So we're still seeing new wallets, just a slight decrease compared to last year. We have auto bridging. We've talked about this a bunch, essentially using XRP as the bridge asset or the native asset to facilitate trades between any two assets, using it as the bridge currency to find the most efficient trading route across assets. So yes, we want volume, we want a variety of pairs on the XRPL DEX. And we can see that auto bridging works in conjunction with the XRPL's AMM. As such, AMMs increase available trading offers for auto bridging, while auto bridging expands the AMM's liquidity access. As the XRPL adds assets and applications and the AMM usage grows, auto bridging will play a pivotal role in enhancing ecosystem functionality and interoperability. And at the end of this report, they highlight Ripple the company's XRP holdings. They explain the on-ledger escrow lockups right here and will be released each month over the next 42 months. So this is really important to understand. You can actually just click this link and it'll take you right to that article explaining the original XRP escrow. Don't believe everything you read on X, or don't believe everything you hear in videos, even from myself. You can fact check it, read it for yourselves. But as of the end of Q1, March 31st, 2024, the total XRP held by Ripple is 4.8 billion. The total XRP subject to on-ledger escrow is just over 40 billion. We also have shared by Anders, so this is MiCA, the EU stablecoin regulation, just saying that it goes into effect at the end of June for this year. Will be interesting to see how other exchanges in the European Union will treat Tether. And this is shared by BankXRP. Kraken is actively reviewing plans that may include removing support for Tether, the world's most traded crypto, on its EU exchange. This article was also shared by the company Ripple, quantum computing's impact on blockchain, gaining insights into the quantum challenges that are facing blockchain and strides toward quantum-resistant cryptography. So for anybody interested in reading this, we have Professor Sala right here going over quantum challenges facing blockchain in the XRP ledger. And this professor's vision of a future where blockchain technology successfully integrates quantum-resistant cryptographic blocks. We can look forward to hearing more from Professor Sala with plans underway to host a national XRP Ledger hackathon involving over 20 universities and 60 highly accomplished technical developers. And that'll be taking place this November. A few other things shared by the man, the myth, the legend, Wrath Economan, a must follow. So in quotes, Ripple stablecoin launch, a game changer. A bullish overview of Ripple stablecoin strategy by this economist named Carlo, detailing the importance of XRP and a dual asset approach, envisioning bridging traditional finance and decentralized finance. We can check out this guy's bio right here, so we can see he worked here at the Royal Bank of Scotland, master's degree, his career. And he's been a member of various national and European committees and working groups preparing the launch of the euro. But alright guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know this might have been long or boring for some, but I did want to go over some recent developments. I hope you enjoyed, and big thanks to all that hit the like button, and I will catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate if you could hit the like button, let me know your thoughts down below, and my link tree is linked in the top of this YouTube video description, with all links, crypto resources, and discounts. I'll catch you in the next one.